Hello, so this is our replacement class for Chinese New Year. So this week we do not have class and we will be um, using this as an replacement class. Okay, so today's lesson is a very important lesson. So it's on pinning. Okay, a pin is basically when you get sort of like you can't move a piece because that piece is right in front of, for example, your king. So if you move the piece, you get checked, which is illegal. Okay, or you can even be in front of your queen. So if it's in front of the queen, of course you don't want to move the piece and let another piece of your opponent just eat your queen, right? Okay, so pinning is a very, very important technique, and it's also a very, very important thing to be able to avoid. Okay, so today we're gonna learn how to avoid those pins, or what do I do when I get pinned, like what do I do, like literally. Okay, so here we have a very, very common um, opening pins, okay, that you will see in almost every game. Okay, so here we have in the first position, we have pawn to d4, pawn to d5, knight to f3, pawn to e6, pawn to c4, okay, knight to f6, and this is the queen's, no, sorry, this is the Nimzo Indian, okay, and now we have knight to c3, okay, so here the most common line played is bishop to b4, okay, so bishop b4 is a pin, right? It's a pin onto the knight. The knight is pinned onto the king. Yeah. Okay. So now the knight can't move, and some ideas of knight here will be a little bit annoying, right? Just to add another attacker. And for example, something that can happen. Let's say you play something random. Something like this happens, and let's say you still ignore him. Let's say you still ignore him. Just let's say, then this would happen. So pop pop, and you kind of, you know, you kind of lose uh, your rook as well. It's a fork. Okay, so we go back a little bit. So here, what we're gonna play, we're gonna try to stop this from happening, right? Stop all of this, and we also don't want him to take, right? So why we don't want him to take? For example, we just push anything again. Even bishop takes will be a little bit annoying, right? You see that? These are double pawns. Of course, you can just take it anytime, right? So maybe this situation is still fine, but it's a little bit not so fun to play. Like that, there's a lot of gaps here. You may be able to play something like rook b1, of course, very nice. But okay, but double pawns generally not so good. Okay, right. So here, instead of that, you're going to play the move queen to a4. Queen to a4 looks like a fork, right? So it is a fork, okay, but Black has only one move that saves the game. So I want to give you some time. How does Black save his bishop and stop check at the same time? Maybe I use red color now. Let it contrast a little bit. So what do you think? What do you think Black should play here? Okay, I give you like 10 seconds, for example, or you can just pause the video to answer. Okay, to stop both of the threats. Okay, all right. So the way to stop this, right, is not to play bishop here, of course, because you just lose your bishop, right? So you have to play a move that guards the bishop, okay, while stopping check, correct? So the move is knight to c6. This is a move that you must know, even for the other side. Let's say if I flip the board, you must know this for both sides. So for example, if your opponent plays queen here, pop, and pop like that. So you have to play knight to c6 to block check and also defend your own bishop. Okay. All right. So here, okay, instead of this, now after knight c6, right, we can simply just play something like pawn to e3. Of course, we already mentioned that bishop takes is a little bit annoying. Okay, a little bit annoying, but it's not too big of a problem because you can just undouble the pawns by exchanging. So for example, let's say he castles, then we can just trade. And if he takes here, we can even play pawn to c4. And this is actually quite nice position to play lah. All right, you have a lot of expansion, a lot of control on the center. Okay. Okay, so here after let's say after e3, right? After pawn to e3, um, black can play something like castles, of course. But the first thing, let's say he plays castles, right? You can actually just simply play bishop to d2, and then after takes, you can even take with this if you want, lah. Okay, so this is also fine, but this is a little bit annoying. If you really love your bishop, then it's going to be a little bit annoying. Okay, right? So another line, right? Here, okay, this is the line I wanted to study with you. Okay, so here, if the move knight to e5 is played, okay, knight to e5, here, it looks like you are threatening to just capture the fellow, the knight, and then the bishop is undefended. But of course, he can just trade off your knight first with check. Okay, so that's one option. Or black could even play the move pawn to a5. Okay, pawn to a5 looks like a weird move actually, right? It looks very weird because of the knight takes. And after this will actually be a blunder. Okay, let's go again. Let's take a look again. Okay, it seems like you get to fork the king and the rook correct now. Looks like a fork, right? But why is it a blunder? Okay, it's a blunder because of, give you some time again. Okay, okay, try okay. Right, so I'll give you the answer. You can pause if you want. I'll give it to you now. The answer is actually bishop to d7. And do you realize that your queen is trapped? Your queen is literally trapped. Like, you only have one square left. Okay, and after this, for example, the move knight e4. Okay, this one maybe a little bit hard to spot. Okay, knight e4 has to be played. Okay, in order to play the move knight to d6 and trap the queen. Okay, this one maybe a little bit hard to spot lah. Huh? Okay, a little bit hard to spot. Knight to e6, and so here you are kind of forced to play pawn to c5. Pawn to c5 stops knight e4, correct? But here, instead of going for the queen, you could even go for knight takes, knight, and after takes, you could even fork, correct? You could play this, or you could even throw in a rook to b8 first, also can. But here, I would recommend playing this, and something like this can happen with bishop d2. Okay, bishop d2, and after this, just maybe rook here first, or you want to take here first, also fine. Okay, taking here first should be better lah. Okay, taking here because this is under attack. The queen is going to get trapped, so he has to move, and after this, we get to gobble up another pawn. Okay, so this is just extra stuff lah. Not really about the pinning stuff, but it is actually kind of about the pin as well, because you're also pinning black as well. Okay, right? So now we go to the next one. Okay, we already look at how to stop um, the move, the pin, right? How to avoid the pin, or how to get yourself out of the pin. Okay, by not messing up your pawn structures. Okay, so you can go queen a4. You could also play queen c2 actually. You can also play queen c2, or you can play queen to b3. Okay, for anyone wondering why is this not a free pawn, um, this is just like the Queen's Gambit, right? Queen's Gambit, and then we let him take, and then we take the full set. That doesn't matter. It's just a pawn. Doesn't matter. Okay, it's just a Gambit. All right. Okay, so now we will go to the next one. So just now, the first chapter we saw opening common pin, right? I can see on the top side here. Okay, it's for the king, right? This is a pin on the king, right? But now we're gonna look at the pin on the queen instead. Okay, we're gonna take a look at the pin on the queen instead. Okay, so here, okay, so this position, right? All right, we have a position where, okay, maybe it's not a very nice position. The bishop's kind of dead, but here the king is already tucked in, already castled, but there's some problem. There is already some pressure on the knight. Okay, and after the move bishop g5, it's gonna be a little bit annoying, correct? Because if he takes, let's say I play something random now. Once again, we do some random move like a6. Okay, bishop takes, queen takes, and do you realize your pawns become double? Right? It becomes very bad for your king. Right? It becomes very, very bad for your king. You have to like sidestep, like go to the side so that no rooks can attack you later on, and it's gonna be very, very difficult to play this game. Okay, so here, instead of that, you have to find a move to defend the knight one more time. Okay, right? And not just kick the bishop away. Okay, this is what a lot of players will make, or will do, right? It's a very common mistake, which is they immediately play pawn to h6. Habis, gone. It's gone. Right? It's not a game that you're going to win probably, right? Because this is an obvious mistake because of the same idea, right? The same idea, and now it's even worse. Like, okay, it's not worse, but it's similar. It's almost exactly the same. Just the pawn is even further down. Okay, so you basically just self-destruct. Okay, right? So not pawn to a6, but you have to defend the knight one more time. So what is another way to defend the knight one more time? I'll give you some time. This one should be a little bit easier. Okay, much easier than the first one, I guess. Okay. Okay, so knight to bd7. Knight b to d7. Okay, knight b to d7, defending the knight. Just like that. Very simple. Okay, so for example, something like castles can be played, let's say, yeah. And now you can play h6 correct? Because after this, you don't have to take with the okay, you can take with the queen, of course. You can offer a trade. And if this happens, you don't have to take with the pawn, you can take with the knight. And you see this position is so much better than the previous one. Okay? Right? Much, much, much better. Okay, so this is how you trade off or unpin from a position. So another way, right, another way that you can unpin, right, is if you had a dark square bishop, you will just place it behind the knight, and then you can move your queen already, correct? So that's another way. That is I didn't put an example here, okay, because this is a light square bishop, of course, but you can do this with a dark square bishop. So this is another way to unpin. So after this, your knight can just move anywhere, because the bishop is no longer looking at your queen, okay. All right, so you can do that, or any other way. Let me see. I think that's about it. Yeah, you have knight bd7, and you also have bishop to e7. Okay, right. So other than that, let's say the queen was not here. Let's say the queen is not here, and there's only one piece. You could of course just play h6, because if he takes, then you can just take with the queen, and there is no queen to mess up your pawn structure. Remember that, Okay. So always have to take a look at how many pieces are guarding the how the pieces are attacking your piece. Yeah, not guarding. All right. Okay. So now we have a little bit of a bonus here. Okay, a little bit of a bonus. Okay, not a very how do I say, defensive move. It's more of an attacking move. Okay, just now we were all defending, correct? In position one, we were defending. They were pinning us, and in position two as well, we were defending. Bishop to g5. Right. So now we're gonna do a special one, a bonus one on queen bishop battery pin. Okay, right. So this one is a very very common. Okay, maybe not as common for some of you. Maybe if you play the Sicilian defense, okay, pawn c5, one e4, pawn c5. Okay, if you play the Sicilian defense, then you might face this quite often lah. Okay, so here, right. Okay, so here the opponent plays the move pawn queen to c2, and do you realize this is a mistake? Do you see that it's a mistake? Okay, I just realized the board has moved. Oh no. Okay. Oh no. I hope. Okay. Yeah, let me just double check it again. Something went wrong. The board just flew away. Okay, so I'll just go back and refresh a little bit on the previous one. Okay, so in case you couldn't see the bottom of the board, okay, so bishop g5 was played, pinning our knight to the queen, and here we play the move knight to bd7. Okay, just to add another defender to our knight. Okay, if we immediately play pawn h6, then bishop takes, queen takes, and our pawns get doubled. Okay, right. So this is basically the lesson for this now. And then also we have another idea. If we had a dark square bishop, we just put it behind the knight, okay, and you can unpin your knight already. Your knight can just go anywhere else already. Okay, right. So I hope yeah. Okay, what's wrong with the board here? Okay, okay. Okay, okay. Right. Okay, okay. So now we will go to our next part of the lesson. Yeah, okay. Every time I change chapter, it just moves, huh? That's so weird. Okay, never mind. Right, we continue now. Okay, so this one, right, is a queen bishop battery. Do you realize this? Okay, white just played queen c2, queen c2, threatening to put pressure on the h7 pawn. Okay, very very nice idea from him, but or her, yeah. Okay, but here there is a very very um important move that we can play here. A very very tactical move we can play here. Okay, can you try to spot it? I give you some time again. Why is this a mistake? Okay, it says that mistake, right? Why is it a mistake? Okay, right. I'll give you a clue first. There is a rook that is looking indirectly on the queen. What can you do with this? It's a pin, right? The pawn is kind of pinned. So what can you do with this pawn? What can we play here? The pawn can't move, right? It can't move left or right. So what can we do here? Okay, give you some time. If you don't need it, you can just continue your lesson, of course. But if you need it, you can pause the video. Okay, so I'm going to repeat the answer now. It's actually knight to b4. Knight to b4 is a fork, and bye-bye. You do not have this threat anymore, and you simply just wasted like 3 moves because, okay, let's see. Okay, queen d2, knight takes, queen takes. See, yeah? Okay, watch the queen, huh? Okay, 1 move from the queen, 2 moves from the queen, 3 moves with the queen. You see that he just moved the queen 3 times in the opening. Okay, remember it's kind of forbidden, right? It's not something you should practice. You shouldn't move the same piece more than once in the opening. Okay, maybe more than once, or twice is the maximum. This is only 3 times. Okay, right? So this is not very good. Okay, right? And here it's a mistake simply because of a tactic lah. So actually in this, let's say there wasn't any tactic here, right? Let's say you only had knight to b4. Okay, this wouldn't be a mistake. This would just be like in inaccuracy lah. Queen c2 will be an inaccuracy. Why is it a mistake? It's because after takes, you have to move pawn to e5, and when he goes back, you realize this is a fork. Okay, and it's actually GG and game over for our opponent because he just lost a whole piece. Okay, right, and after this, let's say queen go back or something. Okay, maybe you go here to be able to capture the pawn nicely, right? And you realize that black is up a whole bishop. Okay, black is up a whole bishop, and the game should be over like right now if your opponent wants to resign. Okay, all right. Okay, right. So now we continue. Okay, we continue. For the next one, we have another special bonus lesson. Okay, it's a bonus lesson. So we have another attacking game right here. Okay, once again, the board just moved. It's so difficult. Yeah, so let me just readjust it. Yeah, I didn't know this was happening. I didn't realize it. It was just going up and down for a very long time. Okay, right. So here, okay, here is a game that I played online, of course, right? And here I have a very nice move to play here. Okay, the first move is not so nice. The first move I just simply took the pawn here. Okay, why? Why can I just take this and hang my bishop? By the way, it's hanging here. Why can I do that? Because it's a checkmate. Correct. It's actually checkmate on e7. It's made in one. Okay, so now my opponent played the move queen to d7. Okay, you see that it's a blunder, right? So why is this a blunder? Can anyone, not anyone, can you guess the, not guess, but tell me the move, okay? Although I probably can't hear you because it's it's recorded, but yeah, just take this as an interactive lesson. What can you play here? What move can you play here to make this a blunder? Why is this a blunder? Okay, this one is maybe a little bit tricky, but the move is very beautiful. I played the move bishop to b5. Okay, it's a good move or it's a best move. It's insane because literally I'm just giving my bishop for free. Okay, so it's actually very simple, not a very difficult tactic to spot actually, because of the checkmating idea. The same idea again. You have to always remember what was your previous idea. Your previous idea was to checkmate, right? So don't forget about it and just continue to play the game. Like now you can see if he takes my bishop, right? This is checkmate. Okay, so same thing, right? So here the pin is so strong. This pin, right, is actually a pin. Like it doesn't look like a pin because you can just capture it, right? But the pin is so strong because my queen is also hanging. If you realize that my queen is also hanging. Okay, but he just can't capture because of my bishop's pin against the queen. Against the king, on the king, right? So here he just can't take my queen. Okay, and here my opponent couldn't do anything. He just if I'm not mistaken, he actually let me checkmate him. No, sorry, he resigned here. Yeah, but the best move here that you can try is rook to d8, and now you could even throw in another pin here. Okay, so this is a very important or very good position to show you about pins. Okay, so the queen is pinned, right? Which means that the queen cannot move vertically, correct? or horizontally. You only can move diagonally then, just eat the bishop. Okay, so here you can play the move rook to d1, rook a to d1, a to d1. And do you see what's happening now? I'm putting another piece that is indirectly attacking this rook. Okay, why? Okay, slow down a little bit, huh? Okay, he can't capture my queen because it's pinned, because the queen is pinned to the king. And if he captures here, of course, we have checkmate again, right? And we also actually have queen takes here if you want to play for a longer time, okay? Which means the queen is so dead, like the queen is so dead. And here, black's best move will be to castle, okay? Castle. And here, you will go ahead and just take this, okay? And if rook takes, you can take back with the queen, okay? You can take back the queen, and after this, the knight is trapped. The knight is hanging, right? So he will go back here, and now you can play a very interesting move of bishop c4. You start off with this first, start off with this, and you force the king to the only square remaining, right? That's the only square, right? Okay, and then you play this crazy move, rook to e7, just giving up the whole rook. Why can you give this up? A little bit interesting, huh? Why is it a free why is it a free piece? Why are you giving him a free rook? Of course, it's not free now. You can get back the knight. But let's say, okay, I'll show you the solution. Knight takes e7, queen takes e7, and do you realize the rook has almost no squares to go to to keep the king safe? I mean, like you can't go here, of course, because of bishop takes, or even queen takes is game over. Okay, so here what you will do is basically nothing, like you cannot do anything. So probably the best move is even queen here. But here, do you see how you can checkmate the opponent? It's literally like checkmate in like 2 moves or 3 moves. Yeah, checkmate in 3. Okay, I think the first move is obvious. Of course you have to find a check. You're not gonna eat the rook. Once you eat the rook, then it's not gonna be made already. Okay, you have to realize that the king is stuck here. The king is actually stuck on this square because his rook just blocked him in, and you will play the move queen takes f6. Queen takes f6, and it's almost made. Of course, he could block it, right? But now, do you realize that the king is still trapped by his own rook? The king is so sad, like just can't escape. And now you go down, queen to f8, and he only has one move, and queen takes g8. It's checkmate. Okay, all right. So now you see how all of these tactics work for white. So here once again, I just took the pawn. Okay, and then you can't take this because I simply just checkmate you. So here he went back with a queen, but this was a blunder because he allowed me to sort of pin him with a nice tactic that this is checkmate. Okay, so he can't just go here. He's actually, this queen is actually pinned to the knight also. Yeah, this is another way to see the pin, right? It's actually pinned to the knight. The moment you move the queen somewhere, it's made. So it's also pinned by checkmate, basically, right? So a lot of different types of pins that we can learn and we can use in our games, and also learn how to avoid. Okay, so here, queen is not able to take here, and you can play rook here, but doesn't matter. You can even throw in a rook ad1. You can castle, and you can just go ahead and take, and run away the knight. Bishop c4 first, kick the king away from the corner, from this g8 square first, and then you follow up with this. Let's say takes. The rook has no squares. You go ahead and check, right? Nice diagonal check. Okay. After rook blocks, you go down because the king is trapped. Go down, rook back, and now queen takes g8 with a beautiful checkmate on the king on, on h8. Yeah. Okay. Right. So I hope you learned a lot today from this video. Okay, I'm not going to make a very long video because of course videos can't be too long. Your attention will just disappear. Okay. So a human has a short attention span. Okay, and it's not very advisable for me to do a very long online lesson without you talking to me and stuff like that, right? So of course face to face, not face to face, online class, live sessions would be better. Okay, but this time it's because of Chinese New Year, and we have to replace it with an online class. I'm going back to my hometown tomorrow. So I hope you have a wonderful weekend, no, weekend week, and yep, enjoy your day, enjoy your holiday as well. Okay, so bye bye, and I will see you again next week. Okay, bye bye. Okay.